Hi, I waked up in the night, um, just after 2 o'clock in the night, and I got a message from heaven, and they told me that I should explain more about what is happened, how it can come that so many known people, the spirit of people is coming through, and not ordinary people. I suppose that many of you have watched television where they uh, ask to know who is in the house, in their home, and doing things and like that. Shows that create much money on television, and those that is traveling around and earn much money on talking the psychic people. But this is not a show, and this is not a psychic at all, and that's why they are coming from heaven, those that have working here on earth. They have not really success, and they have maybe been wrong in many ways because they have only been human. So they have not been perfect, far from perfect, some of them. But that's is how we see it. It's not what heaven see it. If you don't know me, I live in Sweden, and when I move in here in my new home, and had not moved in the home, but I was here to check on things that I have not seen when I walk around the first time. I thought it was nice to look at it again, and I was so happy to have my new home. So I wanted to go before I have all the furnitures in the home. And when I come in the empty home here, I heard in the air someone was saying to me, this will be a gathering place. So I didn't know what it was. I thought it was people should come here and we should sit and study the Bible together or like that. But then just when I move in, did the coronavirus come, and it was not that way. I didn't want to have any person into my home. It was for you also, many of you, that you were very scared in the beginning and then you relax. So I was very scared in the beginning, and so I understood it was not that I should do, but I didn't know. But then I heard in the air that I should do a podcast, and I didn't know what podcast was, and I had not heard about podcast. but I study it and find out what it was. But then when I started the podcast, what should I do? What should I talk about? I have no guest here. There is no people can come in here and we sit and talk and recording in the podcast. So in the beginning I start with the free music and play music, and then I put in some topics, some subjects that was in the newspaper, and talk about that. And you can hear it, those first episodes I have recording. It's nothing there. But then suddenly one day a spirit come, and I saw the spirit coming in, and I don't know today who it was, the first spirit that come. I maybe check out it later today. And so what it is about, the spirit, I maybe get help from spirits because I feel there is something, a spirit here. So maybe we get help to understand it. But the spirit is energy, and we create some of the energy, maybe most of it, here on earth, how we live our life. That's energy. That's energy is the energy that lifts up to heaven when we die. But we call it spirit, but it's an energy. So those people that have coming through as a spirit, it have been Jesus. Of course, he did much. He was talking about God's kingdom. He didn't talk about himself. It is people of today that is talking about Jesus the whole time and not talking about the kingdom of God. They're talking about the kingdom of Jesus or gospel of Jesus, but not about God, the real God. Elohim, Yah, El, whatever you call it, Allah in Arabic, Deus in Portuguese, whatever you call him, but it's the same God, whatever name you give him, and that's not Jesus. But Jesus did his work. He did very much. So, of course, he is in the center of the New Jerusalem in heaven. He is with God. And all of those that in some way try to change the world to understand how to live a godly life, even if they fail in many ways, but they were working for something that make people be a better people. And it was I think it was the last time I recorded an episode, or if it was another episode, it was a spirit that told us that they are standing. It's a hierarchy in heaven, so those spirits, they have different work to do, but it's not work, but because they do it gladly. They are happy to do something for heaven, for their family in heaven. So some have this assessment task to standing in the end of the tunnel when we die and from earth, and we go into that tunnel, and in the end of the tunnel is a bright light, and there they are standing there. The light is energy. It's energy. It's not like a lamp. It's not light we have here on earth. It's energy, and they shining of energy, and they are standing there and help those that coming through to is on their way to heaven, and they if there is not much damage they have done people, they try to help them to be clean. Before the heavenly court, they try to cut off bad things that have happened, that we have done in our life, and try to make us be as clean as they can do. So they are our helper. So we have many helpers. We have those that standing in the end of the tunnel and try to clean us up if it's not full of dirt. And then we have the lawyer, advocate in Jesus Christ, telling the court, heavenly court, about what it is on earth, and how we struggle on earth, and why some men, everyone, that why we are like we have been on earth, why it is like that. He know the whole story, and he have been close here to earth, so he know what's going on here on earth, and he help us. And the same with Jesus, that is very close to God. He have been here on earth walking. So we have lawyers, advocates in the heavenly courts, but first we have those energy that standing in the end of the tunnel and help us in the first place, fix us up. And so I hope, because I have done many bad things in my life, not so much after God come to me, but before that. But I did many things after also. God come and took me away from everything. In my homelessness and desperate and not knowing God so much, I did many bad things. So it's not what you see on earth. You must change your mindset. You need to learn how they see earth, and what they are saying and doing in heaven that is different from earth. We can't think with our worldly brain how they are in heaven, and what they say and what they see here on earth is different. It's not our thinking. I know much about heaven and God and what they are doing and saying and thinking, but I know not so much. But today I try to think about things from heaven, how they see it. And it changes so very much if you do that. It changes your way to meet people. It changes so much to deal with your problems in life. If you think, oh, it's a spirit here, it's a habit that I say this, that it changes everything in your life if you start to think how they see it, how to come to know them much more, and you come to know them more if you listen at my podcast. I don't say it as a commercial. It's necessary. It's very important for your life to listen, not on me, but on them that is coming here and talking. So those people, last time it was Martin Luther, and he was not a good person like we think, but at least he did something. Action is very, very important in heaven. To sit there doing your things here on earth, and then every Saturday or Sunday go to the church and sit there and listen at the preacher, that's not enough. Every day's action counts. Now it's a spirit here that was saying this, that every day's action counts. He say that, it's a man here. I don't know if I had you ask question, I could ask him some questions now about those with the energy, and that's why it's coming. Jesus, his mother Mary have been here sometimes. Now Martin Luther and some, and only few that is unknown spirits are coming through. And how can I explain it? I asked him about that. How can you help me to explain? He said to me that he remind me that I have said that in an episode, that they were standing in a line. It was in the beginning when it started, the whole thing. I say that it was many, I saw many standing in a line to come through and talk to us. And then was it another time a Jewish rabbi and a Orthodox, if it was Greek or Russian, this church, they were really fighting. They are not really fighting as we do on earth, but they fight to come first, to talk to us. And those that have the strongest energy, they of course win. They come first. Those running around and playing on the meadow around the New Jerusalem, they are children. They don't know anything what's going on. They only are children and focus on to play on the meadow. So you can't expect them to come because their energy is very, very low. Then there is people inside the city. They can come, and there you can have children that is in the city that can come in, and I have seen them coming in together with a strong spirit. So they travel together with a strong spirit to come here and talking. And they are playful, but they are not playing in the meadow, or they are playing in the city. And then the next group is 3 groups of spirits. The next spirit is those that is in the same area as God. And of course they have the strongest energy. They have the strongest energy, so they can come forward. And it's not we that should judge. We should not judge about the decision what the heavenly court have done. For us, maybe some of them that coming through that have that am with God in this center of the New Jerusalem, they maybe have not seen to be good people here on earth. But God's and all those in the court, they don't, those, at least I have seen 6 higher priests. They have talking to me, those 6 higher priests, and they are in the heavenly court. So and God, that is 7, and then is our lawyer, advocate, also. So 8 spirits at least is it in the heavenly court, and they see it in another way, because they know exactly every second of our life. They know us in everything. So we don't know it because we can only judge people in what media is telling us, television, newspaper, And in the past, there was not much information more than what one direction from information, and then they find in the case those papyrus rules, those pergaments rules, and there was a fragment. It was not a whole story, it's only a fragment. And then it was some men that tried to interpret what was there in a language they didn't know, but they learned how to read it. But much could be wrong, and those people that they hired they paid to do this, to read the scrolls, and they didn't need to be so much into God. They were only technical, could interpret what it says on what they find in the caves. And so we don't know anything about those people that the Bible is talking about, and Quran and all those Torah and all of those holy reading things, and what is told and these things we don't really know, so we can't judge anyone, and what can we do? We can only trust the heavenly court that the right people is there where they should be in heaven. Then is the hierarchy is about what they are doing also. There is many different what we call angels, energies, that they do different things for God, for heaven. And so it's not what we learn from proud men in those leader position in religions, that they don't know anything, that they try to convince us that they know everything, but they don't know anything. So the most truth is what I hear here, that what they are saying, because much what they are saying have coming true. Today I was checking out how much the coronavirus have spread, and this is January 18, 2022, and it's more than ever the coronavirus, and I think they lie for us because they don't want us to panic, and they try to get us to take the vaccine. And I have a feeling that it's not good to take the vaccine. It's what I take it from is that I have working almost my whole life with computers, and I am thinking about how evil people did doing virus on the computers. They can it was long time ago when they started to do they're sending out a virus in the computer, and to hide, to not get you to understand that they have done it, they can code the virus to explode, to start working another date, another year maybe. So they can maybe create a virus for the computer in 2020, and then suddenly it start to show up in year 2021 like that. And I'm thinking like that the virus can be like that suddenly one day it's not working anymore, and it may cause damage in the body, explore inside the body. It's about this I am thinking, and I try to avoid to take the vaccine, but it's easy for me to do it because I sit on my own in my home, and the spirits told me to store up full of food and shampoo, cleaning things. They told me for in last summer. They told me to do it, and I told you that listen to store up. And now it's coming that time when they say that to store up food, because now the spreading is going so very fast and easy to get it, and that seasonal flu and everything, and maybe it's not good to have everything of that going into your body, not only the corona but also the seasonal flu to it. And so I have started to eat what I have stored up now. It's time for it. So that's what's true when they say that. And they say also about the corona that it's not over. They say in the summer of 2020 like that. And they say when it start to slow down, the coronavirus, before the Delta come, and they say, and the spirits told us that listen, they say that it's gonna be more waves. They say it's gonna be like a tsunami, they say. And I think we don't have had that tsunami yet, but we have all these waves that they told us. And so the tsunami maybe will come. I don't think it's have been yet. So that's so I store up food for, well, I can hold it at least a half year, and then it's the summer and I can be outside and get food on the outside instead. It's winter now, and and I have to stay inside the home when I get food to my home. So I don't do it now, just now, because it's rising. The corona, it's in my little area where I live have been about 250,000 people that have corona. So I wait a little to meet people, but that's me. I feel sorry for you that have to go to your job, that you can't stay at home because then you lose your job. I know I have lived in United States. I have worked in United States, and one boss at the job, she's told me to go home because you are sick. She say, go home and come back when you are okay. And then I come back next day because it was allergy for what I'm working with. And I come back and was okay. And then she said, you are fired. I don't want you here. So I understand. That's not easy. It's God's mercy if you can avoid to be infected. You should thank God for every day you are okay. That's the way God have done it. That to remind you about, be thankful that you have your God in your life, that He take care of you. It's those people that is killed. Is most people that is killed of not of God. It's their decision to think that Jesus is God. So they have Jesus in their mind when they pray to God, and that God doesn't like that. But it's their decision. They make it. And then they ask people, I am so sick. Can you pray for me? And I have told you, you should not ask people to pray for you if you don't really know they are righteous people. You can ask someone to pray for you when you are sick that is from the devil. And that's not the real, that's God you want them to pray to, because that's be the opposite, that it kill you and you die because you ask random people to pray for you and not knowing them, where they are coming from, who they are. So I let him talk. I think he want to talk, that is here. I don't have a real picture of him, but it's a body at least. So that's not God. It's a spirit. That I'm not God. To see what to say. It's always a risk to ask them to talk, because I don't know. But I think it's a spirit that want to talk. And he look out into my garden, and that's is only one person that look out in my garden, and that is Jesus. So that's what he tell me, that it's he that is here, Jesus. And he is here also because I have talking about Jesus a little here now. And he's is there something you want to tell us, Jesus? He's laying his hand on my head, and he say that he give me something. He transfers something to me from him. And I see a lake. I see a sea, a lake. And he's telling me that I walk on water, he said to me. And he said that the water is going to flow more. There's going to be more water coming into me, he say. We will make people to understand what you're talking about, he's saying. Don't be worried. That's why he lay the hand on me also. That's because he can transfer things to me without touch me. But he touched me because he said, don't be worried. He said, the time will come when they understand, because we are going to do it together as a family, he said. I asked him if he have something to say about this with the spirits coming through, and why it's dominating spirits, the most energy-filled spirits that coming through. Because in my mind I am thinking about that the last will be first and the first will be last. And that's not really how it is. And he laughed at me when I say this. He laughed at me saying this. Not evil, but like with a heart. I love when I ask him about these things that we read in the Bible. He say it's already done when they come to heaven. It's not in heaven the last will be first and the first will be last. So it's what they have been on earth, that when they come to heaven it can be the opposite. Because those leaders on earth, they can have been in hidden agenda they have done many things in secret for you, but for us, we know exactly what they are doing. So those leaders, those first people on earth, they are going to be the last, many of them, because they have not done what they should do. We let them come into a leader position to create something good and change the world. When the world start to go away from God, they should have taken into their hands to bring back people to God, but they didn't, because they were greedy, he said. They wanted the money. The devil gave the money, and they go for the money, and not for what was in God's will. That's why they come to be the last in heaven. Even if they have much success on earth, they have no success in heaven. And then he hold a hand on me again and say, "Don't worry about that," he said to me. And I am not political, but sometimes I slipping in to political thinking. Even if I don't want to think in that way, I want to think about what God is thinking and what heaven is thinking, and not care about the political things, because God take care of it. And today that what it said in the Bible, we can't work against it, because it had to be the tribulation. It had to come a time when everything is awful, and it will come one day when every evil thing is coming on its peak. Is this? Oh, he's on me so much. He say that is those 1,000 years on earth, that means one day in heaven. So one day we let the devil do what he want to do on earth. But you are protected, that have working for the good, for that is the treasure for God. You are protected, but the devil will take all this other that is not good. He can have his victory in hell, but those people that have done good things, there is no victory in them. It's either that Jesus is saying he can be a little rough. Jesus say that it's either we let those people sweep out from the surface on earth, or the devil can take them to hell. It doesn't matter, because they are gone. Those people that have been real evil. There is no there is no excuse for them to help them to clean them up when they are so evil. So we know they will never repent, never ever, whatever they see and hear here in heaven and in the heavenly court. We are showing them their life, how they have been, how they have said things, what they have done, and they don't repent. They don't have a heart, so they can go with the devil. There is no, when they don't have anything excuse for what they have done, they are waste. They will be waste. And we counted on it here in heaven. We know it already. We know their life already from the start. So there must be, some have to go for the good to come. Some have to go for the good to come. That's a kind of balance in the energy in the universe. Is always a balance between good and evil, and everything is okay when the balance is there. It can't be one or other. It must be either good or either evil, and it's a balance, and it's enough of humans that will be in heaven. It's enough to live a great life, and when something coming up in the universe, we are there to help them, like we have helped here, you on earth. We have helped you. We have been an army, God's army. We are a protector for the whole universe. Don't think that you are the only planet that have living creatures. There is some in the universe, and we have to defend it, because it's always coming up. It's always there. Some evil forces that try to take over. And what is going on earth is that we test people that we can have in God's army. Those that overcome, the overcomer will be in God's army to protect. Those other that is not in God's army, they are those that is out on the meadow playing. They are not with us. They have their own things without no thinking. They don't know anything. And we, inside the city, we are the army. And we that is with God, we are like you say, is in the military, that we are the staff, we are the stab. We are those that decide what to do when something coming somewhere in the universe that is not good. Then we put together the army and send them out. And this is those that is in the city but not where God is, where we are with God. We hold it. We hold it because we can't go away. We have to hold the whole control on everything. So we're sending out angels, we're sending out those zephyrs, we're sending out all kind of angels and energies. But we are always there, here. We are with God. That is a steady, it's fast, it's the foundation of everything. And so we can't move around. We can talk to you, we can send out and talk to you, but we are not moving from where we are. The energy is so strong that we have, so we can fly everywhere where we want with our mind and talk to you. We are not going anywhere. We send out from the central of the New Jerusalem. If you have been in the military, you know how it works. It works the same way in heaven. It's very seldom a high staff member of the army is going out. It must be always some that is in the place to defend and send out and control and thinking what to do. So it's in heaven, and earth is a test area for the soldiers that is in the army of God, not the army of the earth, but the army of heaven. That's different. That's what Jesus is saying here now. And now he's put up his hand and says he's leaving now. So now I can come back now. I am in the spirit bubble now, but I will open my eyes now. I have had my eyes closed because why I have my eyes closed is because I look with the spirit eyes and not the worldly eyes. But now I can open my worldly eyes. So I hope you understand this with energy, that it's not like entertainment or show I do. I don't earn any money from this. Instead, I have bills to pay to do this. So I don't want to be known in that way that I'm on television. But I understand, of course, that if I need to do it, to be on television, for example, I have to do it. That's God's will now. But me, as a person, as a human, I don't want it. I wanted that from the beginning when God was in my home. I thought I should be very famous, travel all over the world, and talking about how it was when God come to my home. But that is no more. I have growing out from it, like I have growing out from the religion's thinking. I have developed so much, so God is not a religion. That religion is man-made. It's not God that have created religions. So I am out from it because I have been taught, and I have been to all the religions there is, of the big religions that is, and no one have accepted me. No one have had any love for a person. It's have always been their agenda, their selfishness. What can you do for me, have it always been. And the same they say to God, God, what can you do for me? Not, they say, they don't, it's very seldom they say, God, what can I do for you? What's in your will, God? And I will do it. I will do your will, not my will. They don't say that. They say, God, what can you do for me? God, you have to fix this. God, you will have to give me money. God, you have to heal me. God, you... The whole time, God, you have to. But what have they done for God? That's the end of my recording here for you to think about it. What have you done for God? What do you know about what is God's will? What is the will of God?